Hello students, welcome to the statistics class. I am S. Nirmala, Assistant Professor of Statistics. Today's my topic is Design of Sample Survey, and this class is for semester 5 students and it is paper 5. Now, let us start. Designs of Sample Survey. First, let us to start this, I would like you to, if anybody in the class could tell me what is population. In statistics, population is an aggregate of objects, animate or inanimate, under study. The population is usually the population is denoted by capital N and it is usually finite or infinite. So, literal meaning of the population is number of people who lives in a particular country or in a particular place or particular state, anywhere, a locality or area. That is the literal meaning of population. But in statistics, population means an object, aggregate of an object, animate or inanimate, under study. That means in population, if you are studying about the number of books which are damaged in the library of a college, of a particular college, let us say X, then the population will become the total number of books in that library, in that particular college library. So these are all inanimate. Books are inanimate, but we are studying about the damaged books in a particular college library. That is X college library. So capital N would be the number of books in that X college library, in which we want to see how many are damaged over the period of 10 years. So our population here is inanimate books, and that too those books which are in the X college library. And let us say if I want to study about the child mortality, that is child mortality of Telangana. Now I have my population would be the children age grouped between 0 to 5 years. We call them to be children, and the mortality in that age group will I wanted to study. So my population will be the children who are in the age group of 0 to 5 years will be my population. So these are animate and some are inanimate, like books in the library. So whatever the population is decided by the study which we are doing, which we are conducting, which we are surveying. So that is the population for us. Now, the population can be finite or infinite. Let us say the if we are studying about the books in a X college library, the population of inanimate books in that X college library can be, let us say, n is equals to 10,000. So these are finite, n is equals to 10,000. Now if I want to study how many stars will fall on a particular day, if they say that it is an auspicious day and now the galaxy stars they'll move and some of the stars will fall. So in my geographical area, that is in the Hyderabad, over a period of 15 days, if I watch the sky and count the number of stars that fall, then my population will be stars in the sky. Now, how many stars are there in the sky? Infinite. So, my population can be finite or infinite. Now, if my population is infinite, then what am I going to do with that infinite population? So, I have to do my study by taking a sample. What do you mean by a sample? A finite subset of statistical individuals in a population is called a sample, and the number of individuals in a sample is called sample set. A finite subset of statistical individuals in a population is called a sample. That means I am doing a survey of the children between the age group 0 to 5 to know the child mortality of Telangana state. Now, am I going to take complete, let us say if I have some 20 lakh children in the Telangana according to my census who falls under the age group 0 to 5 years, am I going to take the data of everybody? Is that possible? If it is possible, I have lots of money. I can take all the children age group 0 to 5, that is 20 lakh children in Telangana state. But is it feasible to give the answer in the stipulated period? Why do we want to count the mortality rate in the children? We want to uh, find out a new drug for the causes of various causes of their mortality. So scientifically, if I want to study 20 lakh children, it may take, let us say 3-4 years. But after 3-4 years, if I found out a drug, will it be useful? No. I cannot do complete population enumeration. I require something less. With that less, I have to enumerate and give the answers so that I can prepare the drug or the cause of the death I can answer. For that, I will take the sample of 0 to 5 years age group children from each district, let me say from each district 20-20, or let me say 200 children. So I send to all the district one evaluator and ask them to take 1 week time and get 500 from each of the district sample of children under the age group 0 to 5. If I get that all the from all the districts, let me say including Hyderabad, we say 30 districts into 500 children each, 30 into 500, it will be some 15,000 children. With that 15,000 children, how many are dying with what sort of disease, and what experiments I have to do to improve the drugs so that the child mortality rate will come down. So the few out of complete population, if I take some finite subset, that is out of 5 lakh children, 20 lakh children, if I take 15,000 as my sample and do all the study on it, and within 1 week or 15 days, if I give the report to the government will be able to find out with what diseases these children are dying more, then they can do something by introducing uh, other introducing the drugs and other things. So complete enumeration is impossible for certain studies. It requires a sample, that is a finite subset of statistical individuals in the population which possess all the characteristics of the population. That subset we call it as sample, and the number of individuals we take in the sample are called sample size. Then parameters and statistics. Now here we have, one is population. Population is denoted by capital letters. That is your population size. N is equal the population of a college. I wanted to know the standard of certain college. If I want to put my child into any of the colleges, I will look to the colleges whose uh, average percentage of marks under that university is top 10. In the top 10 colleges, it should be there. So that is my criteria. Then what I do, I select certain 5 colleges and inquire about their average pass percentage. So I select 5 colleges which I heard that they are top 10. They are in the top 10 colleges of the university. So I will take the sample and see, I will see their pass percentage. Now, if I say X college has 90% pass percentage, Y college has 86%, and Z college has some, let me say, 93%, and like that, 5 colleges I'll select. How that college has arrived at that average? Let us see. How that college has arrived, let me say the population of X college N is equals to the final year students who have appeared is 300, and out of 300, 98% of students have passed and they got their degree. So how that 98% they have claimed? They say that 300 students have attended, and out of 300 students, 250 students, 268 or 270 students have passed and acquired their degree. Therefore, my college got 98% result. Do you think they have taken all 280 students who have passed data? No. They might have taken the data of 50 students and then calculated their averages and added all their averages and did divided by 50. So that they got an average of 98% and they claim that over the population of 300 also their result is 98. So this is population is capital N and their mean of and the average of that college percentage they took on a sample of 50. So that sample N is equals to 50, small n is equals to 50, and X bar mean of the population is denoted by mu is 98%. They claim it 98%. How they claim it is 98%? They say that my sample of 50 students, if I've calculated all the averages, I got 98%. That is average of the sample. That is small x bar is equals to he got 98%. So 98% of his students have passed, he said. On what basis? On the basis of the sample. Therefore, they say that the sample is 90, 50, small n is equals to 50 and their average x bar is equals to 98%. And they say that capital letters are denoted by uh, are the constants given to the population and small letters are constants given to the sample, that is what we have taken out of the population. Here, in order to avoid verbal confusion with the statistical constants, the population, that is mean, variance, etc. of the population, which are referred to as parameters. Statistical measures compound from the sample observations alone. Examples, mean, variance, etc. of the samples have been termed by Professor R.A. Fisher as statistics. Now I said that population, they did not find out 300 people's average. That is mu they did not find out. But they have taken a sample of size small n is equals to 50 and they found out the average of these 50 students, and that 50 students ka average they said small x bar, and that we call it as parameter statistics. And they said that expectation of a statistics is equals to parameter. That is the reason they said that out of 50 samples, Our constant mean small x bar is equals to 98%. That means expectation of a statistic, expectation of small x bar is equals to capital mu. That is, mu is nothing but mean of the population. They have found out that the constant over the sample for 50 students and they appropriated it for the population. That is the reason all the population constants are called parameters and all the sample means are called statistics, and there is a theory in the estimation theory that we have studied in our third and fourth semester is applied here. That is, expectation of a statistic is equals to parameter and it is said to be unbiased estimator of the parameter. Sampling distribution. Now, I wanted to know the average of this particular class. So what I do? Let us consider our population of this class is, let us say, 90 students. And I have given a task for 5 students to find out average of this class. So what do? I'll ask them to take a sample and find out the sample mean. That is statistic of the, first find out a sample of size 15 each and then find the average x1 bar. So roll number 1 will take 1 to 15 students mark. Roll number will take from 15 to 30 students mark. Roll number 3 will take from last 80 to, 65 to 80 he may take. Roll number 4 may take the values randomly. 1, 5, 10, 15, like that he'll pick up the students and then he will take the 15 and take the average. So everybody has taken in their own methods the sample and they all found out the mean for that sample. And I put all the 5 serial number 1, sample 1 and mean of it. Then serial number 2, sample 2, mean of it. Sample 3, mean of it. Sample 4, mean of it. Then also I'll find out for each sample variances. This complete table is called sampling distribution. That I have taken some 5 samples. I asked the students to draw a sample of size 15 each. Those samples also I have put it on a table. For those samples I have found out x bar and then s square. That is, for each sample of 15 I have found out mean and variance. All of them I have put it in a table. That table is called sampling distribution. The number of possible distribution of sample size n that can be drawn from finite population of size n is NCN. For each of the samples, we can compute a statistic say T, that is mean, variance, etc., which will obviously vary from sample to sample. The aggregate of various values of a statistic under consideration so obtained may be grouped into a frequency table distribution, which is known as sampling distribution of the statistic. Thus, we can have the sampling distribution of the sample mean, the sample variance, etc. Now, standard error. We have framed a sampling distribution table, that is 5, serial number 5. Each sample they have drawn the observations 15, 15 and they have found out the mean and they have found out the variance and put it in the table form. That table we have called it as sampling distribution. Here in this table we have variances. Now the variances ka variance if we take, that we call it as standard error. The variance of the sampling distribution is known as standard error. The standard deviation of the sampling distribution of a statistic is known as a standard error. The standard error, some of the standard errors are given below in the table. The statistics x bar, its standard deviation, standard error is sigma by root n. For sample proportions, root of PQ by n. For sample standard deviation, it is sigma by root 2n. And for S square, it is sigma square by root 2n. Quartiles, mean, correlation, everything they have found out and they put it in a table form. And everybody should get it by heart because we will be using all these standard errors in our coming chapters. Now, the biggest task is we have population, but we are not studying about the population because of the various constraints about the money. If we don't have the money, the money will be we have to spend lots of money to take study each individual of the population. Sometimes the population could be unlimited or infinite. So what we are saying that sample survey would be better option for us where we can save money, we can save time, we can save energy, and we can give answers to the problems which have been given to us by studying a certain set of the population, not complete population. So the sample surveys are very important. If you do proper survey and collect the data properly, then you can analyze that analysis. We can say that population sample observations are unbiased estimator of the population. So the same answers we can say that expectation of a statistic is equal to parameter. That is what we have studied in the theory of estimation. That expectation of a statistic is equals to parameter. That means if you study the population sample correctly and if you analyze the sample, we can interpret the same results for the population. So sample may we can save money, time, energy, and answers would be reliable since the sample is a finite number of observations. So for that we have to follow some certain steps. Those steps are principal steps in a sample survey. The first one, objective of the survey. It is generally found that even the sponsoring agency is not uh, what to say, are they are not quite clear in their mind what they have to study. If I want to study the average of the college, now I should know how to find out the average of college. Our college population is around about 1200. Now, if I want to tell average of the students, let us say I have to take the data of the passed out students. That is our final year students, capital N will be, there are 500 students. 500 students, I cannot sit there and take the averages. So what I'll do is, I'll take a sample of size 50 or 100. Then I will take the average of those 50 or 100 and then I will interpret that 50 or 100 to the 300 and to my college 1200 students. So this will take less number of time and accurate results. We know unbiasedness, that is expectation of a statistic is equals to parameter. So to have a sample, we should know what is our problem. Now, for example, I wanted to send one student. A government of India has sent a letter to our college stating that your college has fared excellent in the university. So, to compensate that or to give a perk that your students are excellent students, we want to sponsor two students, one girl student and one boy student, for seeing Republic Day parade. Now, that is my objective to send a student to see the Republic Day parade. Now, whom I have to send? There are 1200 students, and because we fared very well, that means Our results in the university are 98%. So those who are absent due to certain reasons, they are absent always. Those 2% will remove aside. And those who are coming to the college regularly, now I have that as my population, 1200. 2% if I remove, 25 students I remove, and now I have 11,750 950 students I have. 1150 students I have. Now, which student, girl student and which boy student I have to send to see the parade, Republic Day parade. All the children fared well in their studies, so my objective doesn't function there. Now what? How to send? How to send students? Which two students, girl student, boy student? The ones who got first rank, almost all got 98%. The average is 90%. There would be, let us say 98%, there would be some 10 to 20 children who got same marks, all got highest marks. So whom I have to send? How do I send to students? My objective is different now. If the same, if I have to send them to a international uh, youth exchange program, to students, whom I have to send? All my students are bright. There are sent person who got 20 students got sent on sent. Everybody got 100 on 100. I have to select two students. Which students I have to send? According to the problem, my objective, where I am sending, whom I am sending. To see the Republic Day parade, do anybody require intelligence? If we are Indian nationals and if we love our country, everybody should have the opportunity to watch it. And to youth exchange program, whom I have to send, objectives are variable, very different. According to the objective, we have to we should clearly mention what is our objective. It is generally found that even the sponsoring agency is not quite clear in the mind as to what it wants and how it is going to use the results and the resources in terms of money, manpower, and time limit required, the availability of the results of the service. I have to send children on 26 January. I got the circular on 15. So I have to give immediately so that the college can book tickets. Their everything has to be arranged. So one day time they give and I have to select two students. So how do we select? Objective, we should be clear. We should have the data and we have to, objective should be very clear to do any sample survey. Defining sample to be surveyed. Now, my survey is to send two students to Republic Day parade. So I have to, my sample should be very clear. Whom I have to send? My college students or my children or your siblings, whom I have to select. So sample has to be very clear. If we have objective clearly, if we define, we know what would be our sample. Defining the sample to be surveyed. The population, that is the aggregate of objective from which sample is chosen, should be defined in clear and ambiguous terms. Consequently, for reasons of practicability or convenience, the population to be sampled is different. In fact, more restricted than the population for which results are wanted. The frame and the sampling unit. The population must be capable of division into what are called sampling units. For purpose of sample selection, the sampler must cover frame and sampling unit means if I have to select 50 students from my college, how am I going to select? College population means BA, BCom, BSc. Then first year, second year, final year. And then girls and boys. My sample also should have first, second, final year students, boys and girls students, and BA, BCom, BSc students. So how is my population? The same way my sample should be. That's how I have to prepare my frame and sampling unit. Data to be collected, my college students, and in from the sample frame we have to select. Question. After selecting, I have to write a questionnaire. Questionnaire, everybody, what is my objective, what is my target population, and what is my frame and sample size. Keeping in this mind, I have to prepare a schedule. Questionnaire, who is going to prepare? An expert is going to prepare the questionnaire. Not all and everybody can prepare a questionnaire. There should be requirement for preparing a questionnaire is skill, special technique, familiarity with the subject matter under study. Methods of collecting information. There are a lot of different methods. To send two students for the Republic Day method, I can take 1200 students names in the slip, and then one lottery system may I can pick up girls and boys separate names I have to take and pick up one boys and one girl. Then I can send them all two to Republic Day parade. But for the youth exchange program, that doesn't work out. I have to write a questionnaire. In that questionnaire, I have to test their communication skills. Youth exchange means they have to exchange our culture, our tradition, our way of living, about our country, our state, and our everything they should know. For that, I have to prepare a questionnaire and give it to the children, and if they give the answers and according to the questionnaire, I'll sort out and analyze whom has to be sent. So there will be different methods of selecting the student. And then there would be non-respondents. I said that 98% of my students fare very well in the exam. What about those 2% students? They also should be included in the sample. Now, ma'am, they are not coming regularly. What we can do? You may ask this question. If they are not coming regularly, we have to find out the reason. We have to trace them and write the reason. Okay? And selection of proper sampling design. I said if I have to send student for the uh, Republic Day parade, I can use the lottery system. But if I'm sending them for youth exchange, I have to find out a questionnaire and do proper statistical analysis. Then only I can do it. And if after preparing the questionnaire, I have to do the field work. That means it is absolutely essential that the person should be thorough trained in locating the sample units, recording the measurements, the method of collection of data required before starting the fieldwork. The success of the survey to a great extent depends upon the reliability of the fieldwork. It is very necessary to make provisions for adequate supervisory staff for inspection after the one who takes the survey forms and go to the field should be thoroughly trained. Otherwise, there will be lot of trouble and data will be corrupt. And if the data is not proper, the analysis will not be correct. Pretest. Always we have to do the pretest. Pretest means take a sample of 5 and give your the survey forms to them and ask them to go through. There should not be any delicate questions to be asked. There should be questions which are appropriate to our study and which should not hurt the sentiments of the people whom we are surveying. So for that, instead of taking 100,000 people and doing survey at a time, we have to take a small set of people and do the pretest of your questionnaire. If all the questions are proper, then only you should go for the survey. So these 10 are the principal steps of the sample survey, and we have to follow all this so that our sampling This is how, following this, you have to frame the sample design and collect the data. By designing a proper sample survey, you get proper data so that whole of your sampling will be correct and your analysis will be good. If not, we have to encounter with many problems. This is how we are going to do our sample survey. This is for today's class. Thank you.